It was forecast to rain the whole day, but as the Dutch say,
we are not made of sugar.
So off I went. I headed to the Tourist Information Center at Kawagoe Station. There are 3 stations in Kawagoe: Kawagoe Station, Kawagoe Shi Station, and the Kawagoe Station. If you're coming from Tokyo by train, I'd suggest getting off at Kawagoe Shi Station. It's a smaller station, but closer to most tourist attractions. At the Tourist Information Center, the staff were really helpful, and one of them in particular had been learning Korean.
이쪽으로 가세요.
이쪽으로 갔어?
이쪽으로 5분 정도 가면 옛날 거예요.
그냥 쭉 가면 돼?
이쪽 가세요.
쭉 가면 돼?
아마 사람이 너무 많으니까 내려서.
알았어. 감사합니다. 네, 이따 가요. 네.
From here on, it's a straight road to the bell tower. It wasn't raining heavy, so I wasn't getting drenched, and as long as I stick to the bicycle path, I suppose I should be okay. Well, what do you know? The bike path abruptly stops right about here. I guess someone decided that the separate bike lane was too sheltered and decided to make it a little bit more interesting. From here on, I'll have to share the road with cars and buses. Kawagoe isn't a secret anymore, so it does get crowded. There's barely enough space for the pedestrians. So if you do bike around, be careful not to get squeezed between a bus and the photogenic crowds. Finally, at Kurazukuri Street, here is where you'll find buildings like this, which were built during the Edo period. I really wish this stretch of the road was off-limit to motorized vehicles so people could walk around freely without having to worry about getting run over. But that would start a whole new debate though. Who's the problem here, the traffic or the tourists? In any case, be warned, this part of Kawagoe gets crowded during lunch hour. Apart from the historic buildings by the main road, you also get to wait, hold up. How come it's only the women? I've seen plenty of women dressed in a kimono and barely seen a man dressed in the traditional Japanese dress. Well, unsurprisingly, it just proves that men don't enjoy dressing up as much as women do. Well, ladies, if you do come here, make sure your partner puts on the traditional dress too and have him walk around town in the hopes that he'll end up on YouTube as well. The bell tower was first built sometime between 1624 and 1644 and then rebuilt in 1894 after it was destroyed. Now, I could put you all to sleep reading off Wikipedia about who built the tower and why, yada yada yada, but just know that it's pretty old and it still works. But unlike in ancient times when it used to ring every hour, it currently rings only at 6 a.m., noon, 3 p.m. and then 6 p.m. Next, it's the Kawagoe Castle. Now, you could take a shorter route or take a longer route and see more of Kawagoe. It wasn't really a difficult choice for me. I took the longer route. Personally, I wasn't just interested in seeing how the kings and queens of Japan lived ages ago. I was interested in seeing contemporary Kawagoe too. And you get to see that biking around. Everything looks compact in Japan. You must be a brave soul to paint your house mint green. But I do love bright colors. And speaking of bright colors, what really stands out in Japan if you come during the month of March or April is
cherry blossoms.
Cherry blossoms.
Cherry blossoms.
Cherry blossoms.
Cherry blossoms are a big deal in Japan. You tend to get regular news updates on when and where they're expected to bloom. You could literally drive across Japan, starting from the south to the north as the cherry blossoms bloom. Here we are at the Kawagoe Castle. The castle isn't really what it used to be, so don't expect a whole lot. This is more a stripped-down version of the original. A poor man's castle, if you will. Most of the original castle has been dismantled, and this is all that's left. There's an entrance fee of 100 yen, and you get to see parts of the original castle. Next, it's the Hikawa Shrine, and as always, I took the longer route, mostly to enjoy the ride by the river. And on days when weather permits, you can ride a boat along this river. It's the Hikawa Shrine. This is a very popular place for couples and for those seeking love. The temple houses 5 deities, of which 2 sets of deities are regarded as married couples. So if you are unlucky in love, or if you've already found love and want your love to be stronger than your credit rating, come here and buy a matchmaking stone. There are only 20 stones given out every morning, so make sure you come here early. The early bird gets the 1 stone. The stone will apparently solidify your relationship. I'm not sure if it's free though, but remember, nothing worth having is free. And if the stone isn't enough, why not go fishing for a fortune slip? That will cost you 300 yen. Once you pay the 300 yen, they give you a fishing line, you fish a red snapper, and the fortune slip on the tail of the snapper, that's your fortune for the year ahead. If you didn't get a fortune slip you were hoping for, don't worry, there's more. You can buy a matchmaking charm. And if you can't make it to Kawagoe, you can order your very own matchmaking charm on eBay. The starting bid is $54. Why not put down 55? Who said love should be expensive? I know. If you're watching and thinking, I've tried all this but still haven't found love, I know exactly what you need. You need a prayer. And that's why we are going to our next destination, the Kitai-in Temple. This temple was built in 830, rebuilt in 1296, and then again in 1638 after a fire damaged most of the temple. Ironically, parts of the Edo castle, which was in Tokyo, was used to rebuild this temple, and then years later, the Edo castle itself was destroyed during the World War. Then there are these raken statues in the temple. I hope I'm pronouncing the word correctly, raken. A raken refers to a Buddhist priest who attained nirvana. I bet these priests never bought a matchmaking stone. Anyway, for those who are not really interested in that nauseating thing called love, you can still come here and pray. For the remaining suckers who are still looking for love, pray fervently. And if you still can't find love after all this, you just maybe need to accept that the problem is you. No shrine, stone or snapperfish can fix that. But hey, what's meant to happen will happen. Eat, drink and dance. Life can still be fun.